Hey everybody. Yeah, I just got out of shopping at Walmart here. It's kind of odd when you're trying to purchase one of your favorite things, especially if you know, especially. It seems you can't do it without being inconspicuous. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're saying, I wonder what so would like. Instead of letting people know it's for you. But anyway, I digress. In one of the videos before this, I talked about the fact that my oldest sister and her family are right now, her husband and my 9-year-old nephew are right now in Disneyland. And by the fact it's about 5-6 minutes after 4, I'd say they're either still in the Disneyland park or they're in California Adventure. It's one of those two areas. If they're California Adventure, they're probably around Paradise Pier by now. Anyway, speaking of Disneyland, I mentioned this briefly last year, I think, when I came back from my first trip. And what intrigues me a little bit, and I mentioned this to one of my extended family members, and she agreed on this. Sort of. You see, Disneyland, ever since the news has come out as well that they've jacked the prices up just by maybe $5 or $6, you might think that's not too bad. $92 a day? I don't think so. Well, 92 if you can afford it, it's okay, but 92, that's almost close to 100. Soon you're looking at basically within another year or two, you're looking at almost $100 just to get in. And to me, that's not a good thing. That's not a good sign. If you're doing it, so it's not really that good of a sign, because if you're gonna start charging, a lot more up in the ante, you're going to have less and less people going there. Now, the positive about that is it's going to cause people to have to save up more and thus make a trip to Disneyland, and if not Disney World, a yearly, if not year and a half, or bi-yearly event. In other words, it's like, okay, they've jacked the prices, we're going to have to plan ahead and go just once every year, or once every year and a half. In other words, like, go every 18 months, or every 12 to 18 months, if not go every other year. So, in a sense, that is a good sign. On the other hand, it isn't, because technically you're looking at the fact that you have people that live around that area that, as I mentioned in the previous video, that like with me right now, are in walking or biking distance of the park, that like to go to it on the weekends. They do. They like to go and enjoy the park on the weekends. For example, my house is over in that direction, and the Walmart is over there, where I just came from. So think about it that way, as an example of people being in biking or walking distance of the park. The point is, they may not like the jacking up the prices, but you know what? It's going to probably cause them to say, hey, we may live within proximity of the park, but, we're not, really we'll be able to go there that much. And you see, like I said, despite the good being the fact that it'll cause people to save up a lot of money and have to plan for years, for a year in advance, or a year and a half in advance, or even a bi-year in advance, like every 2 years in advance, to go, then, that's fine. That's fine, that's fine with me whatsoever. Because the way I look at it, as much as I would have probably loved to have gone if I would have known in advance, with my sister and you know, like I'm saying, as much as I would love to go with my sister and her family if I'd known in advance, I now know and have an idea that they got October, December panned out, so I'll probably end up trying to save up money and going with them then. But still, the point is, after this October, the planning stages are really going to have to be stressed in and stressed about, because technically, they're going to have to start saving up a lot. And, it's not just the day passes either that got jacked. We're talking the yearly annual passes that, allow you to have access 315 days a year, some days excluded. And then you also have the passes that are premium that give you access all the time. Now, if you live in the Anaheim area, that's fine. You live within that distance of saying, hey, I'm going to walk or I'm going to take my bike to Disneyland. And you have that pass, that's fine. But to me, with the upping of these prices, I think honestly this is where Disney needs to go for a second. Well, like I was saying, with the jacking of these prices, and despite the positives, if you will, into making people have to start saving for trips like that, despite the positives and the jackings of the day passes and annual and premium passes, like I said, the positives of people having to save, the negative is, the negative for Disney is a lot of people are going to start looking towards other related theme parks. And the second most popular one is Six Flags. The second and third most popular ones behind Disneyland are Universal and Six Flags. Universal is huge. It's basically Universal is Disneyland for anything that's related to Universal product or a partnership with it. It's got attractions and rides and stuff. In fact, one of the most famous ones is Transformers the Ride, which I would like to go on eventually. So, and like Disneyland, they too have two parks, one here in California, one in Florida. And both are very similar in many ways. But the point I'm trying to make is, ladies and gentlemen, is people are going to start wanting to favor Universal a little bit, because Universal, I think, might be a bit cheaper in some retrospects, if you will, maybe not. But they might be a little bit cheaper. And if not Universal, and if not Universal theme parks, then another one as well. Then the other option, which could outshine both, would be Six Flags. Because Six Flags actually has an advantage over both company parks. The advantage they have is they have 1 to maybe 3 theme parks in a state, if not in a region. 1 to 3 theme parks and some related theme parks associated with them. I'm not lying. Six Flags has a park in Vallejo. They have, I think, a park around San Diego. They have related parks in that of Great America, and because they have some kind of a partnership with them. And I think they have some kind of a related park to that of the Santa Cruz Boardwalk. They have some kind of, to me, some kind of partnership with them. So, yeah. Hold on for a second while I try to get in. Got too many keys. I gotta fix that eventually. But yeah. But yeah, the fact is Six Flags has that bit of an advantage. So, to me, they have a great, so to me, they would be the last alternative if Universal doesn't turn out to be a good alternative for anybody else that doesn't want to deal with the price jacked up by, those at Disney. And again, though, if you can afford it, then, hold on. Like I was saying, if you can afford it, then fine, go ahead and afford it. It's no big deal. Like I said, if you can afford it, go ahead and go for it. That's the way I look at it. I mean, when you think about, when you think about it, you can. I mean, basically, this is the way I look at it. If you're working and everything, Bill, that was my dog.
With international tax law.
But like I said, if you're working and all that, well, like I said, if you're technically working, if you will, if you're technically working, let's say you get a check, you can say, hey, this week we'll go to Disneyland for the weekend, or we'll go to Disneyland for the day. It works. It would be a treat every other week. But the thing is, unless you live in that vicinity, it's not a treat, because you got to basically now save up money just to go. You actually got to save up money now to go, because of the fact that they jacked up the prices. And again, you see, and that's only if, like I said, you live within biking distance of that park. And like I said, because of this is the reason why people will start contemplating and thinking, maybe we should try Universal, or maybe we should try, Six Flags. They're going to start contemplating that. Because even if, let's say, they have to come from Anaheim to Six Flags Vallejo, or they drive down to San Diego to Six Flags there, or even to SeaWorld there, the fact is, they would rather spend a little less money at those theme parks than have to basically flicker out about $92, $93, maybe $94, depending on the tax, just to spend a day, meeting all the characters, which isn't bad. But the point that I'm trying to make here, ladies and gentlemen, the point I'm trying to make is this. With the jacking of these prices, Disneyland needs to start contemplating possibly doing something similar to what Six Flags does. And what that is, ladies and gentlemen, what they need to start contemplating, if you will, what they need to start contemplating, if you will, is possibly creating some not miniature, but smaller Disney-related parks. In other words, do kind of take a page out of Six Flags, if you will. Take a page out of the book. Say, hey, you know what? They're making money and all that, by having numerous theme parks all over the place. Maybe we should do it. And you know what? Maybe they should. And that would help them out. And here's why. Here's why it would help them out. They could find sections, places around that are close enough to the most populated areas. If you know what I mean. And what I mean is, basically, certain regions of a state, if you know what I mean. Certain regions of a state that people could have access to and not waste that much gas, if you will, not waste that much gas, and still have enough money to get something to eat on the way, and then eventually still have enough money to go to the theme park that they want to go to. And to me, that would help them out in a major way, because financially it would be making them more money than they've ever dreamed. It would financially be a good investment to start thinking regional wise. We need to start probably creating or establishing some regional Disney parks, not just two separate ones where people have to travel and all that so far and take. No, places that'll be like, okay, let's say, like I said, for example, with Six Flags, they got one in Vallejo, which is basically the center of the San Francisco, Sacramento region, the Bay Area, Central Valley region. So basically, you would have them say, okay, maybe we could do something just like they do in a similar region. In a similar region. And right now they actually have a good start, because they have the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco. So think about that. If they have the Walt Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, then what's to stop them from saying, okay, what can we do to really give the people what they want? Hello, you could do a regional Disney park there. Basically, it'd basically be like half the size of Disneyland. It would have similar rides and all that, but it'd be half the size. It's like you could go out and ask the fans, or ask the populace, okay, what are the most popular rides of Disneyland that you like to go on the most? And I'll tell you right now, I'll be totally honest with you right now, the first few attractions and rides that would come up, that would pop into people's heads to suggest to Disney, if Disney was to make this move and create these regional Disney parks, the attractions that would pop into their heads would be Haunted Mansion, Space Mountain, maybe Star Tours, Splash Mountain maybe, who knows? Maybe a regional version of Toontown, You kind of get the idea. The point is, you would have all these, even maybe a version of Big Thunder, if you know what I mean. And again, you would have all these, and it would be a regional, and it would be within a region that's more accessible for a lot of people. It would be. It'd be more accessible for a lot of people because it would be in the region. They wouldn't have to be spending that much gas, and it would save them enough money to be spending at Disneyland, at that regional Disney park. And Disney, as a corporation, would be making more money. So it's a win-win situation. It is. And especially, like I say, now that they've jacked the prices up, it's definitely a win-win. I know a lot of people may not, see it in that manner, but it is a win-win situation. It is. It's a win-win. And the reason... Oh. Sorry about that close-up there. That was my fault. But like I say, the reason it's a win-win is because both sides would be winning. Both sides would get what they want. Both sides would be getting what they've been wanting. The populace would be finally getting a Disney park, which is within the vicinity and won't cost them as much when it comes to gas to get to. The thing is, it would work out better. I really think it. I really think it would work out better. Now, that's just me, though. But I know there's a lot of people that watch this video, are watching right now, and they're saying to themselves, you know what? He's got a good point. Because let's say you live in the Midwest, and you always want to go to Disneyland, but you haven't been able to afford it. Think about it. Disney could create a regional Disney park in a vicinity that would be closer to you than California or Florida. It'd be within a reasonable distance. You wouldn't have to spend that much money on gas, and most of your money would be either on a hotel and at the parks. And like I said, the attractions people would be telling them they would like to see, again, would be things like Haunted Mansion, maybe a Pirates of the Caribbean, a Space Mountain ride, maybe a Buzz Lightyear thing, maybe something like similar to the Screamer at California Adventure. Maybe a smaller version of World of Color. Again, the possibilities are endless. I mean, if they could go out and make Disneyland parks in Hong Kong, if they can make Disneyland parks in Tokyo, in Paris, if you know what I mean, if they can make a Disneyland-related resort or park down in Hawaii, then they could do it regional-wise all over the place. They just need to, look into it. And again, financially, it would be a success for them. It would be. Because basically, you'd be giving, with these regional Disney parks, you'd be giving the population, you'd be giving people, Disney folks like myself that have grown up with Disney, you'd be giving us a taste of what we could expect when we finally are able to go to Disneyland or Disney World. Fortunately for me, I can say that I've been to Disneyland and I enjoyed it. But if I hadn't gone, and let's say if I hadn't gone last year, and let's say there was a regional Disney park around this area, or when I was living in Kansas around there, I would be able to go to that and kind of get a taste of what it'd be like. I mean, every time Disney brings a on-ice tour to any region of the country, I want to go. I would want to go to see those, because those would always be the closest I would be getting to Disney. Honestly. I think one time the closest I ever really got to Disney was I was watching Channel 9 News, KMBC, in Topeka, in Kansas City, or what it was, and they had Mickey and Minnie helping to light the Christmas tree. Go figure. But my point is, I think financially it would be a great investment for Disney to do. Because not only would they be giving the people what they want and a taste of the main theme parks, but financially it would be a win-win for them. And again, all they'd have to do is ask the populace, okay, what attraction stuff you would like to see there. And again, probably give them the stuff that are regional versions or smaller versions of what they have here. Like, give them a Big Thunder attraction, or Haunted Mansion attraction, or Pirates attraction, or Astro Blasters attraction, Worlds of Color attraction in some ways, a Screamer of some kind of way. All that kind of stuff. Give them a regional version of a Toontown. It doesn't have to be as big as Disneyland. It just has to be in a regional size. That's about it. But again, that's just me. That's just me. I mean, I can go online to the Disney store and Disney Parks section and get a lot of the souvenirs from there and be just like I went to Disneyland. I can go into a Disney store in the mall and it'll be just like I went to Disneyland. I mean, and what would be even better is if they invest into this, look into it, add maybe a smaller version of Downtown Disney and give them an idea of what Downtown Disney at Disneyland and Disney World is like. So, but I think that's what Disney needs to do. And that's all I'm going to say on it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with it? Comment if you like. Video responses are greatly appreciated. I'm sorry this video went long, but I had to just get this off my chest. Let me know what you guys think, though. I'll talk to you later.